Following my recent wave of videos talking about the importance of ad creatives now that we're in 2022, almost getting into 2023 at this point, and we've known all of these media buying changes happening recently, right? With Facebook removing a bunch of targeting options and TikTok being creative focused. So how does one actually craft good ad creatives? Would that be on Facebook? Would that be on TikTok? So what is the bulletproof process that you must follow in order to craft high converting ad creatives? Well, this is what I want to cover in today's video with you. My name is Justin, and I'm the founder of Wizo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. So I'll break this video down in 4 different phases. So first step would actually be data analysis. So when you look at data analysis, so you want to look at the following places. First of all, within your ads manager. So you look at the performances of the ads that you already ran in the past, what worked, what did not. Second place you look at is Google Analytics. So you take a look from there at who's your audience, and then also especially if you are utilizing UTMs, then where these people actually came from, and then you also compare the stats from the ads manager with what you have in your UTMs in order to find your already pre-existing best ad creatives. And the third place you're going to want to look at is at your Shopify store directly. So you're going to want to look at your traffic, specifically where it comes from, the behaviors, how many times usually people buy, and if you can find similarities between the people that buy the most frequently and what are the traits of this specific type of audience. So that's just analyzing your own data. And I'll tie this with competitive analysis, which you're not talking about data, but more about from an external perspective. So if you look at the ads library of competitors on Facebook, or just as in general industry library on TikTok, 2 great places for you to look at what type of ad creatives are working for e-commerce giants. You can also look at tools like Foreplay, which I've actually showed on the channel before, because they built their own library from both Facebook and TikTok, and now even have landing pages screenshots. So that's also a very good place for you to look at ad inspiration. Now, once you've done all of that, you should have a good idea of how to start a new wave of ad creatives. Again, I'm kind of talking here as if you were starting a new campaign, because optimizing is much different. And I feel like this video is going to take more of an angle on starting new campaigns, because if we're talking strictly optimizing, then you're going to see at the end of this video, everything I'm discussing right now is just going to be about repeating. Because let's say you already had ad creatives, then you analyze the data of these current ad creatives. You potentially want to look at the new stuff that the competition might be doing. Then you just start the cycle over and over again. So now again, you did your data analysis, you've checked Google Analytics. I have some videos on the channel that share what exactly you want to look at Google Analytics, but that could be affinities of the audience. Again, look at your UTMs and the sources, so where people actually come from and what specific ad creatives seem to have performed good based on UTMs only. You look at your ads manager. If you're also using an attribution software, then definitely look into that. Now, with that said, you get into the brief part. So would you be doing a UGC or an actual just static images, or maybe a GIF, an animation, a carousel, as an example, all Facebook ad formats? Then you'd still want to do a brief, right? You'd want to brief either your creative director, or if it's yourself, right? You want to brief yourself then on making these ad creatives. It's important for you to be able to take notes of each of these steps in order to follow, even if it's just for yourself. So how do you actually craft a brief? I've posted on the channel about UGC, but if it comes down to a static image or a video, again, carousel, any non-UGC format, I feel like it's much easier, because the only things you need are the following. You need a general idea concept, which usually for me is going to be 1 or 2 paragraphs about what I'm trying to achieve. Then the actual ad format, is this going to be a 1x1 or a 16x9 or 9x16? Then I would also put the placement. Where's that going to be? What's the context in which this ad is going to be used? Then you're going to want to put a swap file link. So that could be a folder or an actual creative example. So again, if you've looked at Facebook Ads Library, or maybe the TikTok Creative Center, or you've looked at Foreplay, then you can save these ads and create yourself a swipe file. So you link yourself to that for inspiration. Then the next thing you're going to want to have is the URL, or the name of the product that you're actually going to be advertising, or the collection that's going to be advertised with this ad. And finally, the last thing you're going to want to have in your brief is going to be the copywriting piece, if you've already done it, that will go alongside this ad. So with all of this, you have a general idea of where you're going with this creative. You have an example to start off from. You know exactly in what text this is going to go. You also know with what product this is going to work. So then you have everything in order to sit down and start designing, or send that off to a creative director, or to basically your editor for them to start editing your ad creatives. And once this is done, you come to the next step, which is editing. So editing, and what I recommend in this case is you need to train your editor in the D2C ad format space. So they need to understand the D2C space and more specifically your brand as a whole. So they need to understand what works, what doesn't, so that you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again. I said that in one of my videos. I said the brief is one of the most important parts of an advertising strategy, because if you're creating new ad creatives and you have a messed up brief, the editor won't be able to do a good job, and you'll probably have to do a lot of back and forth and give a lot of feedback and probably not even get the end result that you wish for. And there is a but. If you have a solid editor that understands the creative space that you're into, that understands the goal, why you're making these ads, they can also help and kind of complement your brief and just make this experience that much better. So when it comes to editing, there's a couple of different softwares you can actually use in order to either track your creative performance down the line so that your editor can edit the creatives by themselves, or so that you can actually provide them with feedback. So for any video content, Frame.io is a very good tool that we've been using with our video editors to actually give them feedback on these video creatives. So they can actually share a direct link to the kind of raw video file they have on their side, and we can actually just go in there and leave feedback if needed. So that's a good tool. Or there's also this tool called Motion, which kind of does the same thing, or actually it's a little different because it also helps you analyze your ad creatives, but would also help you do so for both pictures and videos. And I'll put a tweet on screen right now from Ash, which I follow on Twitter. Actually, he's one of the co-founders at Obvi, a big e-commerce brand. And with that said, he said something that resonated with me, which basically he said he got humble pretty fast. And I'm just reading the tweet right now that I have on the screen. But he said, I've been building our landing pages by myself, on Shogun this past year. They were great, but our graphic designer took our best performing landing page and just wanted to make it look nicer. AOV went up 30%, conversion rate is up 10%. Keep testing, I guess, he says. And that'll bring me to one important thing. If you're not good at designing, then you will always be missing out on conversions. And I'm saying that from a graphic design perspective, because I was and still am a graphic designer at heart. I did design pretty much for the last 6-7 years of my life, and I can definitely tell you for a fact, having something is better than nothing, right? And I see that a lot within new and starting businesses, right? They're gonna have like an okay-ish website, and then they'll think, they're gonna get conversions, but they realize very quickly that there's a big difference between having an okay website and a very nice, complete, and good-looking website, right? It's the same thing with your ad creatives. Having okay ad creatives is gonna be good. If you've done a good job editing them, then that's perfect, but if it doesn't look nice, if it doesn't look 100% professional, if it doesn't look A1 quality, then you will lose on some conversions. Again, the numbers might not be crazy, but again, in this case that Ash talked about, AOV is up 30% and conversion rate is up 10% just by making things look nicer. No structural changes, just making them look better from a design perspective, which is why we've actually built a creative department at the agency in order to make these creatives look professional, nice, and have the best briefs in the world to have a fully complete creative department to help with our advertising and media buying team. And last but not least, repeat. It's as simple as that. When you've done all of these steps and the ad creatives are live, then all you're gonna wanna do is start over again. You look at your ad creatives, you analyze the data. Are those good ad creatives? Some will, some won't. You kill the ones that aren't. The ones that are, you try and make them better, and then you make some micro tweaks. If you can't get them better, then cool, you just start with new concepts, and then you start this wheel over and over again until you have satisfactory ad results. And here's the thing, there probably won't ever be a point where you reach satisfactory ad results. In a sense, there probably won't ever be a point where you can stop doing this process. This is a continuing cycle. You just have to master this framework. You have to master this cycle because you'll just be always going through it over and over again. This is what we're doing for our clients, and this is what we recommend smaller brands like you who might be watching this video in order to get the best ad creatives as possible. With that being said, if you're listening to this and you want an agency to take care of your paid advertising needs and all of your creatives, and you're making at least $50,000 per month with your e-commerce brand, then I'd say look at the description below and pencil in a free 30-minute demo call with our team so we can look through your brand, see if you're a good fit for one of our e-commerce marketing programs. And if you're not above $50,000 per month, but you're still within the e-commerce space, you're a marketer, you're doing Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and you wanna be one of the first to know about these new videos, get some exclusive trainings that I'm posting in our free Facebook group. So the link is also in the description below for you to join that group. On that note, make sure you check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.